Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are so glad to be back at the Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor podcast. It has been a minute, man. It's been a long time coming. We've kind of figured out our format now a little bit.
We said last time we were back that we were back.
I know, we lied. We told a little bit of a white lie. That's on me.
I bet y'all were scared I wasn't going to be here for a second when I walked in.
I know. Then they're there. I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like, you try to start something, right? Try to start something, and then you fall out, and then you try to get it back, and then you fall out again, and then you start it back up.
Well, it's kind of like exercising.
Yeah, but
that's cool.
But now we're just doing 1 day a week.
Yeah, we're just gonna do one a week.
We're not gonna tell you what day it's coming out a week because we don't know at this point.
Surprise!
It's a surprise.
We're back,
but we are back once a week for the Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor podcast. Super excited about that.
Don't wrestle your neighbor. Oh, don't wrestle your neighbor.
That was impromptu. I'm really happy that we did that together. It was a good experience. But we do have some segments for you today. We have some things that we're going to bring back from what we started doing. The very first thing that we're going to do is the Trey Tries It, or really just we try it, where each episode, I'm going to try something new, or we're going to try something super taboo or something that we've heard around that's maybe a little trendy. I think eventually we're going to try the Impossible Burger, which I think will be really great. But this week, we're going to definitely pick fun at me a little bit because I've never tried something before, and Evan thought it was ludicrous. But I have never tried Funyuns.
It is ludicrous.
I have never tried Funyuns.
Have you not at least tried them?
I think as a kid, I remember smelling the breath of someone who had eaten Funyuns.
Well, that'll do it to you. And that's all you have to say.
Right.
I understand completely.
And I just was so thrown off by it. And I just decided that this is not going to be a snack that I eat.
I mean, I don't think so. Whenever we tried Doritos for the first time,
not Doritos. Types of Doritos. I had
whenever I
nacho
tried
Doritos.
Spicy Nacho Doritos and Cool Ranch Doritos for the first time, I was like, I'm doing something to him here.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's going to like these now, which was true. Same with Skittles, where I was like, I'm doing something to him here. I don't think I'm going to change your mind on these. Really? No. This is not, you're not going to open your eyes and all of a sudden be like, oh my God, I love Funyuns now.
It is interesting to me that this is a desired taste. People either love these or hate these, right?
Yeah. They make flaming hot Funyuns too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's pretty legit.
But I want to go ahead and give these a try. On a scale of 1 to 10 though, before we try this, where are you on the scale?
You want me to say where I am on this scale?
Where you are before I even try.
I feel like that's going to influence your...
No, because your palate is way different than mine. You like things that I would never like, or you sometimes love the same things that I like.
I got you. Well, I would probably... What's a 10 on the scale? What chip would be viewed as a 10?
A spicy nacho Dorito.
Spicy nacho Dorito is a 10.
Yes.
I would probably put these at
below 5?
I'm deciding. It depends on what age I am. At my current, there was a time in my life whenever
you ate Funyuns and Mountain Dew.
There was a time in my life whenever I would put Funyuns at a solid 7.
Really?
But I'm gonna go 4 probably today.
Wow.
I'm at a 4 level on Funyuns.
Okay.
I tried them recently again, and I was like, "What did I ever see in these?"
I'm gonna take a good bite.
I'm gonna do this whole one.
I don't know that I want to do it.
They're very crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
It seems boring.
Honestly, all you need to know about Funyuns is the cover. And let me say, though, one of the most iconic bags of all time.
Honestly, yeah.
The yellow and the green. But it says onion flavored rings.
Yes. Yeah, when I ate that, I felt bored.
It's an onion flavor. It tastes kind of like salty onions.
Yes, it was maybe Yep. To me,
and for some people though, that's unbelievable.
180 calories. Okay.
But I eat a Funyun, and for the first couple, I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And then for the rest of the bag, I'm just kind of like, man, I wish it was like spicy, or I wish it had just something more exciting happening.
Yeah, it just seems a little bland to me.
I will say the function of Funyuns, though, I could see these going on like a sandwich or a burger or something and being awesome. But like just as a plain snack.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I get bored really fast.
Let me know if you love Funyuns or if you don't love Funyuns.
Yeah.
But also, what do you put Funyuns on for you particularly? So like, do you eat Funyuns by themselves or do you put them on a sandwich? I had never even thought about putting a Funyun on a sandwich before.
Well, if you like onions on your burger or your sandwich or something in a pinch, or if you just want to try it,
That's so intriguing. That could be good. Man. That's so... Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm actually not a Funyuns, but I'm a big fan of figuring out like a better way to eat a sandwich.
Right.
I don't know if I would put a Funyun on a sandwich because I felt that was very boring.
Sometimes I feel like we think sandwiches are like everything's been discovered.
Oh.
But there's more things you can do with sandwiches.
Think about how many foods there are out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many things you could put on.
How many different things.
Like
how many things you could make a sandwich
like,
out of.
Just right now, just off the top of my head. Like, I've never had a cucumber on a sandwich.
Have you had a pickle?
Yes.
Then you've had a cucumber.
But like, it's not the same.
You're right. It
transformed.
transformed.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it transformed. So it's like...
mariposa.
But like... That was a good one there. All right, so Funyun scale of 1 to 10 for me, I'd probably put it at a 5 because I was just bored. Like it was very I've tasted onions before. It's fried.
It's all right.
Like, it's not it's
not bad, but it's not
it's not changing my life.
It's not Dorito level.
It didn't add any value to my life. I think
it's not white cheddar puffs level.
Right. I think for me though, what I will say is I spend a lot of time with youth students, and we often will eat chips.
Yeah.
And there will be a box of chips.
Lots of chip eating.
I now will know that if I am in a bind and there's only one bag of chip left and it's Funyuns, I will eat it.
Well, at least now you can say that you've tried Funyuns.
Well, I've tried Funyuns, and I don't dislike them so much that like if it was a lonesome in a box, I wouldn't grab it. Like I would grab it.
Let me ask you a question. What is it about you that you're like... there are things like, everyday things you haven't tried.
Yeah.
That you're just fine with that.
Yeah.
My personality is the opposite where I'm like, I've never even tasted that. Like I want to at least see what it's about.
I think there's a big part of me, like realistically, that loves to be good at what I'm good at. And then so I feel like that trickles into food. Like what's the point of risking not liking something? It's a flawed like theory.
Sure.
But when I was a kid especially, what's the risk of not liking something when I know what I like and I could just eat that? Like it's here. Like it's in front of me. I know at least, for example, like I used to always eat like chicken strips and fries, like very stereotypical of a kid who's picky.
Sure.
Like chicken tenders and fries, very simple, right?
Yeah.
And so they might not be the best ever, but like what you're gonna get from chicken strips and fries, right?
Yeah.
When what's gonna happen.
What it's gonna have.
Yeah. So, but if you go out on you go on a limb and you try something new, well, now it's like I could love something else. Like I could learn something new, but I could also hate this,
right?
And now I am subject to eat this thing.
Because I ordered it.
Because I ordered it and I have to finish it. So
I'm just talking about those simple things like our Reese's.
Right. Well, I didn't like peanut butter growing up, but like Skittles, for example. Yeah.
Or Sweet Tarts.
Yeah, I think I also just growing up, I loved
and snacks and stuff.
I loved the idea.
You could just grab it and be like, oh, yeah, I don't really like it.
I think I love the idea of like being like that guy. I think I did, realistically.
Oh, that's never tried.
Well, no, not never tried, but like was okay with like not liking candy or like not eating candy, not eating ice cream, not doing those things.
Dang.
So
it's tragic, man.
Probably doesn't make any sense, but it's just who I was, man.
Well, that's okay. I mean, hey.
But now we're able to do this. You know what I mean?
accept you.
I appreciate
for who you are.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate your willingness to try things.
Yeah.
Trey tries
yeah, that's the one thing that I will always stand by. Is I will try it.
That's what I like. Yeah. That's what I like.
I will try it. I may do it begrudgingly. Oh, yeah. But hey, let's move on a little bit because we have a large topic to talk about.
It always makes me nervous whenever you preface things with like, this is huge.
Well, it is huge. It's a big deal because last night was the Oscars.
This is Monday.
This is
We're recording this on a Monday.
Yeah. So we're recording it on a Monday. So Sunday night of this past week was the Oscars.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see it, Will Smith.
You may have missed one thing.
Yeah, you missed one thing in particular. Will Smith, he slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah, right on the stage in front of everybody.
Right on the stage in front of everybody.
It's interesting because sometimes things will happen like this, maybe, and it's like, oh, there was like a fight, or there's some like video of it happening in the background.
Well, like who's trending
and you
on
can't
Twitter,
really
you
you can't really tell what happened. But this was like in front of everyone, national live television.
Everyone and whoever was watching, and then pretty much every famous actress or actor in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was like front and center.
Right.
You couldn't be more visible.
Hot topic.
It couldn't be more visible what happened.
So can you give us a little bit of a rundown that we can talk briefly about our thoughts?
Yeah. So what happened was, so I don't know how deep I want to get in. Basically, the very, very surface level of what happened. Chris Rock comes out. He's presenting for the awards, and he makes a couple jokes at a couple of people in the audience, and then Will Smith's wife was there that evening. He said to her, "Hey, can't wait for your role in G.I. Jane 2."
Right.
So G.I. Jane. It was a movie that came out probably like 2002.
Right, it's a terrible movie.
Or something like that. It's from a time long ago. For maybe many of you watching this. And everybody kind of like laughed it off. It was just a throwaway joke, like not a big thing. And so somewhere between the completion of the joke
and the cut scene.
And the cut, they cut to Will and his wife. And they were, Will kind of chuckled a little bit. Yeah. And his wife seemed to be visibly like frustrated, like eye roll, like, you know. And so then they cut off of them back to Chris Rock, and he keeps doing his thing. But then he reacts to something in the audience, which was Will Smith getting up, walking onto the stage.
Whoa.
Yeah. And you just see Will Smith walk up to Chris Rock and haul off.
He pauses for a second,
and then he just slaps him right in the face.
Slaps him across the face.
And then that's where the audio cuts out.
Yeah.
In the American broadcast.
Right. Yep.
But from other broadcasts, he was like shouting some stuff from the audience, basically just saying like not to
keep my wife's name out your mouth, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And so then Chris Rock very awkwardly continued. Yeah.
Okay, so
and that's like all
everywhere.
That's all I'm seeing today.
Right. Yeah,
on any social media. It's
literally,
like all I'm
so
seeing.
you have one of the most well-known comedians.
The top three trending videos on YouTube are about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock last night.
So it's like you have one of the top comedians ever.
Yeah.
He's up there. And then you have one of, I don't know if he would be considered like one of the greatest actors, but he's been in so much. He's a top-notch actor.
As far as like career accomplishments go, he's done so much.
Exactly. So he's
different stuff. Like
so many things. TV, movies, like everything. Music. Yeah. It's like he's done everything. So you have those two guys and like on national television.
I'm glad it was those two guys.
Oh, for sure.
And not like a lesser known comedian.
Exactly.
It was if it had to happen to any two people, those were the right two people for it.
Like if it was like Conan or something, you know what I mean? Like it would just it would have been so terrible. Right. That would have been bad. But yeah, it's like Chris Rock and it's Will Smith. And so what was your first just blind react? What was your
I said, "Is this fake?" That's what I said. I was like, "Is this fake?" Because I was watching it and I was just like, I couldn't believe how awkward it was and like the dead airspace of just like because Chris Rock was like visibly flustered afterwards, as anyone would be.
Yeah, he just got slapped across the face.
Yeah, and then like a champ, kind of continued on with just kept going, but it was. I just couldn't. I was like, this can't be real. Right. It felt like fake life. It felt like surreal. Like I don't know how other people watch live television. I mean, I'm assuming you watch it for like the entertainment.
For sure.
Like that sounded dumb. Everyone watches TV for entertainment.
Right. I get what you're saying.
But I really enjoy the moments of live TV of like the Super Bowl broadcast or the Oscars or like any award show or something where there's like a broadcast element to it that has to go over smoothly.
Right.
And there's performances and announcements and like awards being given out. And there's the X factor of like the people that win the awards. What are they going to say and how long are they going to go? I just find it fascinating.
Right.
Like that world of like what could go wrong.
Right.
Because there's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And so I usually watch these shows with like the hope of like
something going wrong.
What if somebody trips and falls down?
Right.
What if somebody says something crazy? What if like in my wildest dreams I couldn't have dreamed this up as like what I would have gotten to see.
Yeah.
Like I was so happy. Like after my reaction was just joy.
Right.
Because I was like, this is
Evan was glued to the TV.
I could not have asked for anything like the entertainers that we are, know and love.
Celebrating.
Entertained me fully in that moment. I was fully enthralled with what was going on.
Yeah, I just think of two things when I like watched it. I just was like, well,
who wouldn't watch a reality TV show with Chris Rock and Will Smith in it?
Oh,
for 2 minutes last night,
right?
We saw the trailer,
exactly,
and it was unbelievable.
Right, like I thought it was so good. Like,
do you want the most successful show ever to exist? Create a reality TV show with Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Well, I read that there is like we were talking a little bit earlier that they have a little bit of baggage from the past, but also I thought of two things. Like one, like what are the like. I love comedians. Like I really do. We've talked about this before. Like both of us love comedy.
Yeah.
We love comedians in general. And like, what is the consequence of comedy? And like, or what should it be? Right. And so like last night, Will took it into his own hands and basically said the consequence,
this is the
consequence for comedy. But then the second thing that I thought through was like, how would I have responded in that moment?
Yeah.
Right. I would never like, the joke that he says is what it is. Like, if you don't know anything about it, like he's making fun of Jada's, like she has what's the autoimmune disease she has? What do you know what it's called?
I know there's a
Appalachia. Is that what it is? Appalachia? What is it? I went for it.
Do you?
I don't know.
That's like a mountain range.
Trey tries
the Appalachian Trail.
Tell me what it is then, Evan.
It's Propecia.
Is it Propecia?
It's a better guess than what you did.
Appalachia.
Look it up.
I know now. I feel like
you look it up.
Okay, but so I just thought
that
about
being said,
what would you have done? Like, how would you have responded in that moment?
Well, I mean, I understand your feelings being hurt, but maybe don't get up in front of millions of people and slap the the person that just said it. Maybe mention it later.
It is alopecia.
Alopecia. I was way closer than you were, though.
What did I say?
You said Appalachia.
Alopecia.
I said Propecia. So gotcha. I at least had the Pecia part.
I said Pecia. I just said Appa.
You said Appalachia.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. Anyway.
That's fully wrong.
Alopecia is what it is.
That's fully wrong.
Yes.
Anyway, so she has that. So she has hair loss.
Right.
Which is why her head is shaved.
When it can be in like various degrees as well.
Yeah. And so, if that's obviously something that they're sensitive about, you would have a reaction that's not positive. But for the reaction to be hauling off and slapping someone else in the face.
No. More so, what's your reaction as Chris Rock?
Oh, this may be the unpopular part for me.
Right.
Because I just believe comedians are joking.
Right.
And that, whenever they say things that make people laugh or go like, ooh, like it is a joke.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It is a joke.
Right.
So, and I know that it's hard to remember that sometimes because comedians like to touch on toppy. Or toppy.
I got you all messed up.
Like to touch on sensitive or touchy topics.
Yeah.
And that is just kind of part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And they are joking.
Right.
Like they're comedians. They're making a joke. So,
but how would you respond?
If it hurt your feelings.
How would you respond though as a person who is on stage all the time? Like in your job, like where both of us are on stage.
If a random came up to me or if Will Smith came up to me?
I guess, so let's just go it this way. Someone of equal status.
Okay.
In that moment. So it'd be someone who you would seemingly have respect for in their craft.
Yeah.
Comes up, you're in the middle of a set, you do something that might
I would say I probably would have had a less composed reaction than Chris Rock had.
100%, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I would not have reacted that way. Like, I can just be honest. I don't think, and I'm not condoning any type of what happened, because it was a bad look realistically in general, all across the board. But
yeah, it's pretty tough to come out of that one clean.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. You're put on like that's embarrassing. Like, that's so embarrassing.
At the end of the day, it is more embarrassing for Will Smith though than it is for him.
After the fact.
Yeah, but
in that moment though,
but
you're not thinking about, hey, how embarrassing.
Chris Rock seemed to have the composure 100%, to know that. 100%,
though, I think that's also part of being a comedian. Is you've offended a lot of people probably in the past, and you have, you it kind of comes with the territory.
Sure.
But in our field, like, I think that would be really hard.
Tough to deal with.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, though, if somebody does come up and slap you,
right,
you do have the go-to built in.
Right.
They slap you, you turn around, recovery time. Well, I guess it's time for me to turn the other cheek. And then the crowd goes wild. They're like, yeah! He applied it!
Scripture tangible right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be a great opportunity to really.
There you go. I don't know how you would not take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, as one of my favorite artists, he says, try Jesus. Don't try me.
No,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I would react. I would probably, it just would depend
it's a
on the
moment
situation.
Thing. Well, it's like, who is it? Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, who is it? How does it, like, who's staring at me? Because I think also, like, I would love to know who Chris Rock looked at first. When he thought about who's he
gymming to?
Yeah, like, well, like, who, when he saw Will smacking him.
If I get slapped on stage and then you're in the room, I'm getting slapped and I'm going,
right. Exactly.
Can you believe what you said?
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I want to know who Chris Rock saw first, like, that gave him the ability to compose himself. Was he just his inner self, or like, did he actually see someone in the audience? Like, did he see Denzel? Right. You know what I mean? Like, did he look to Denzel?
He saw Denzel over there meditating.
Like,
just always calm.
Like, he heard, like, because realistically, if he literally just had that composure to not say anything,
something, or
like, to not say something even worse, or to not even like
set back up for, like, so now it's my turn.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like, the fact that he didn't do that, I was pretty impressed by his composure. What was said was what was said. What happened is what happened.
It would be tough to get slapped in the face
and not do anything.
And then just continue on with
the rest of the show.
Yeah. I mean, it may help you, though, realizing that all of the most famous people in the world are in the room with you.
You're on national television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
It's just crazy. It's a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. I think the question that I would ask that you, all the people who are going to watch this are going to say is, what, I'm asking you guys now, what would your response be? And I think we should actually ask that, because I think we all, eventually, not in this scale, obviously,
sure,
have something that happens to us that puts us in, like, on our toes, or on our heels, because that's what it does. It puts you on your heels. Like, how do you respond when you're put in a predicament to where, like, you're kind of, it's like the most control you could ever be in of yourself, like, because you're wild at this point. Like, you're seeing red, you just got slapped across the face, something just happened to where, like, puts you on your heels. How do you respond, man? Like, and Chris Rock, like, that was, like, honestly pretty impressive.
For that to be his natural response, because you've got, like, adrenaline going, all this stuff, you're on the stage,
you're on, like, you're 100% on.
Well, for him to, like, be present enough to, like, be able to handle it. But, that's what he does.
For sure.
Like, his job is stand up, and like, part of that is just being present and in the moment and being able to, like, react to things. So it's like, if anybody could do it, that would be, he's probably pretty practiced at that.
Yeah. But I do want to know. I want to know how you guys will respond. So you can either tell me about it later at a later time, or
the thing I was most surprised at was that he had his hands behind his back and he didn't move.
Yes.
I could tell you right now, it would have been like, ah!
Right.
I'd been like, don't hit me.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's Yeah, that was
my
wild.
hands would not have been able to stay behind their backs.
Yeah, I could not believe that he didn't move. Like he stood there and took it. Like he just square across the jaw, man.
He went.
Well, no, he went.
Yeah, that picture. There is a good picture.
Great meme for the future. But anyway, we'll move on to our next segment. We each and every week we're going to do a little bit of a mailbag section, which is basically just any question that you guys want to ask us. We'll answer it. Doesn't matter what it is. We'll do our best to answer it. It can be serious. It can be funny. It can be really anything that you want it to be. But this week we didn't have enough time to ask you students a question.
I can be the. I can be.
I can be in the sky. I can be. I can be anything you like. I can be. Yeah.
I don't think we're in any violation of a copyright.
I hope not.
Because we didn't get any of the words.
No. But this week we're gonna go ahead and call our great friend Daniel.
He's a great friend.
He is going to ask us some questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a call real fast, and he'll ask away.
I wonder what he's going to ask.
I know. I'm really
because
intrigued.
As we left, he was like, I want to keep it a surprise.
I know.
So he's going to ask us 2 questions.
2 questions.
2 questions.
Hey, Daniel, we're on the podcast.
Make sure you hold him close enough to the mic.
Okay. We are live currently, okay?
Oh,
yeah, so we want you to ask us your 2 questions.
All right.
One at a time.
One at a time, please.
But I'll ask just 2.
Okay.
I have to narrow it down.
Okay.
So I've got a more serious question, but then I have a more fun. What do you want? What do you want first?
Let's go fun first.
Okay. All right. I got to pick the one I want to do.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Here it is. You ready?
Yep, we're ready.
All right. If you had to get a tattoo on your arm of a Muppet, you had to do it. Which character, which Muppet would you pick?
Okay. So, that's a great...
Or a Muppet Baby. I'll accept a Muppet Baby either.
I don't know that I know the Muppet Babies well enough.
Did you watch any... Okay.
I know the Muppets. I don't know the Muppet Babies. Okay, what's your second question?
Muppet Babies, but anyway. So that's number 1. No, the second question I want to know is, if you could start high school all over again, what would you do different?
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Those are 2 great questions. Thank you so much. We will, you'll get to see our answers live. So, all right, man. Thank you so much for your questions.
No problem. We'll talk to you later.
Bye. Those are fantastic.
If you had to get a tattoo of a Muppet.
So if you didn't hear those questions, the questions were, if you had to get a tattoo of a Muppet or Muppet Baby character, what character would you get? It's a tattoo on your arm. What character would you get? The second question was, if you were starting high school all over again, and then what was the end of the question?
If you were starting high school all over again, what, if anything, would you do differently?
Okay.
Yes.
I think easy answer for me is Kermit. Like, I think I would be like
Kermit the Frog.
I think I would be okay with that tattoo on my arm, like of Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I think looking at the list, there are some on here that I don't actually remember.
There are some wild ones.
And, yeah, there's one named Gaffer. And it's a cat with an eye patch, and that he looks awesome. But no, if I were to go with one that like represented, I forgot about Yolanda the rat. She's really funny. There are 2 that stand out to me, and I would say Floyd Pepper.
Okay.
He's like the music guy.
Uh-huh.
But I think that my personality matches up more with Waldorf and Statler. The 2.
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf, the 2 grumpy old men.
Okay.
Because I really like them.
Yeah.
Like their comedy is really funny.
Yeah.
And Kelsey the other day said that I was like a grumpy old man. So
that fits for you.
Yeah, it probably fits.
That fits perfectly for you. Yeah, you are. Okay, I would go Kermit, but I also just don't know the Muppets super well. And you would go who? Who would you say?
Waldorf and Statler.
Waldorf and Statler.
I would say, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay,
if we're counting them as one.
Right.
Because they're like a...
Yeah. So
they're
who
a
would
package
you
deal.
get a tattoo of a Muppet? What Muppet character would you get a tattoo on your arm of? I would do Kermit the Frog. You would do what you
Waldorf
said.
and Statler.
Yeah,
grumpy old
But I
men.
love this second question. I really think it's great, fantastic.
If you could start high school all over again,
what would you do?
What, if anything,
would
you do differently?
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second because...
I think the easy answer, like, would be, obviously, like, be yourself. Don't try to, prove anything to anybody. Yeah, snore. But like, if I am being honest with myself, I think if I were to if I had the opportunity to change something like big, I probably would have, put more, into like putting myself out there in different things, such as like theater, or putting my doing things that weren't always looked upon, at least at my school, as what you might call the popular things, like sports. Sports were super huge at my high school, but there's only so many of those that you can do. Like putting myself on debate team, or putting myself in things to where I just had opportunities to learn about so many different things, such as like politics and like just how the world works. I think would have been something that I probably would have, if I could have changed something, I would have put more stock in like not what people thought about me, but like legit just bettering myself. And thinking about how I could be preparing myself to be the best version of myself later on. So I mean, I don't know if that's a good answer or not, but I feel like my high school experience was very, I did all of the popular kid type of things. Like I was that kid.
Right.
And so I think if I probably would have been, put more stock into not being popular, but like preparing myself for the future. Probably would have been more what I would do.
That's a very common sense answer.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like very, what could I say? Like preparedness, like,
Right.
It's boring.
Do you want me to give you another answer?
Yeah.
I mean, an easy thing would be, you go. I'll go. I'll change. I had to go first, okay? I had to think of it on the spot.
I would say if I could do anything different in high school whenever I started, it would be, well, first of all, I didn't go to high school. So I was homeschooled.
You were homeschooled.
Yeah. So I guess one thing I would have done differently is like a little more schoolwork.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
because you didn't do any.
I did some, but
debatable.
I would say, but if we're talking about just that 4 years of my life,
right,
like that age, me and Andrew made videos back then whenever we were young and like on tapes and DVDs and stuff. And like Andrew's brother would help us and he would shoot the videos and we'd like, improvise the script and stuff like that. But I would say I would have done more of that and I would have never stopped. Because I got to a point in my life where I stopped kind of doing that stuff. And there was just, I wish I would have continued that and like continued learning that stuff. I probably would have done that differently because I enjoy it so much now. But I would say I probably would have wrote some more papers before I got to college. If we're going to take the preparedness for the future and then, preparedness for the future, write more papers.
Yeah.
Second thing, just never stop making videos.
Yeah. I think that's really good.
But really nothing else I can think of that I would really change. I like those years. So
I know I definitely loved high school. Like,
yeah,
I really enjoyed. Would I go back? No, but like I really enjoyed that time period of my life.
Yeah.
And I think
I would get really into tech decks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
just something obscure like
I
that.
I know. I think, yeah, I think I probably
I would have leaned hard into party planning
for my kids. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like I probably like in high school because I went to a big school, so like kind of like Edwardsville, but you know basically double of Edwardsville, and so yeah, it was huge. And so I think I had so many different friend groups, which I felt like made me. I feel like I hung out with a lot.
I couldn't be different, more different.
Right, exactly.
I had one friend group,
right, and so
they were like,
I felt like I could be a different person in different groups all of the time, and I realistically thought
Here's
that
an
was
interesting
was
question.
helpful. What do you say?
I'm interrupting. Go on. Sorry.
But like it was helpful because I learned a lot about like different kinds of people.
Yeah.
But it also like left me like not feeling super close to like a ton of people, like to that many people until pretty much later in my high school years did I feel like I had like really close friends.
Right.
But like my first probably 3 years of high school, it was like, well, like these are all people that I might go hang out with, but like nobody who like was my boy, like that was my guy. Like I could trust him with anything.
Sure.
That kind of stuff. And that probably, I would go change that. Definitely.
Gotcha. Interesting question.
Yeah.
If you and I had met in high school, would we have been friends?
Are we meeting here or are we meeting in Indianapolis? Because I think here it helps the case.
I don't know.
Let's go with it doesn't matter.
Let's say we meet on neutral ground.
Okay.
Like at a CIY or something.
Yeah. I think we could have been friends.
I'm going with a hard no.
You're going with a hard no, really?
I think high school Evan. You wouldn't have. You would have been like, this guy. I don't like this guy. You've been like, this guy is a weird guy.
You think?
Yeah, it was a weird time.
I was
really into skateboarding.
See, yeah, that would have been a definite.
And I'm telling you, dude, we made these videos and they were weird. They were weird, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. My wife asked me the same question. Like, do I think we would have dated in high school? And I'm always like, no, I don't think we would have dated in high school.
And you were like real sporty.
I was real sporty,
and I like didn't hang out with people
right. But like my best friend, like one of my best friends, he ran with me, but like he was definitely the opposite of being sporty.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I wouldn't say a hard no. But I don't know that yes is probably is the right answer.
Right.
I think it would be if we met at a CIY. I think our chances are higher.
I think there's
if we
a
met
chance.
in high school.
I think there's a chance, but I just think you would have seen me and been like, I don't think I can do it. We were just like greasy little dudes. And like, you think I'm exaggerating?
You want to know a funny note?
You would have seen us and you would have been like, hard pass on these guys. They're all greasy. Why would I want to hang out with greasy guys?
They're all greasy. Why would I want to hang out with them? Yeah, I think that's a great question. Do you believe that we would have been friends in high school? If we would have met in high school, do you think we would have been friends? Because I personally believe that like some of my best friends, like one of them, like we're pretty much the same. And so we have very similar interests.
Right.
But a lot of my friends, we don't really have the same interests, and like we're all friends based upon like we met in church, and so we had that commonality. Right. But like I think that would be very interesting. If we met at CIY, I think our chances are higher. If we would have met in high school, I probably would say hard no. Yeah. Because we wouldn't have ran in the same circles. Like it would have been a very
no.
That's all we got for today. It's super great talking to you again, man.
Yeah, I'm glad
to be back.
We haven't really had a conversation that's not about
our job.
Like, work here in a while.
I know. So it's been good. I hope you guys
catch up with you.
Enjoyed. If you stayed this long, thank you. We will be back at some point next week for another episode of the Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor podcast.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Don't wrestle your neighbor. Don't wrestle your neighbor.